Right, whether it's pocket money or piggy banks, it's never too early to teach your kid about the value of money.
Join us now to discuss is finance coach known as Mrs. Smart Money, Kel Galavan. Good morning to you, Kel. How are you?
I am very good. I'm looking forward to this morning.
Yes.
Great to have you with us.
Let's dig into it. As Tommy said, children, really, they can't really start too young. So what's your advice then in terms of teaching some good money habits to your children?
Absolutely. Look, our whole world revolves around money. Whether you love money, you don't like money so much, everything we do results in there you get your paycheck for your job well done. So the earlier you can start children, the better. Like even the age of 3 and 5, I would be a big fan of giving them physical money when they're starting out. Now I know we're kind of moving towards a digital age, but for the first little while, absolutely, because our money is actually quite colourful. Like it's quite tangible. It's paper, it's coins, it's different colours, it's pictures, there's animals and all sorts of things on it. And just to give them that tangible kind of, this is what a coin is, this is what money is. And I would even say, when they get their bit of pocket money, like bring them into a shop and say, right, we need to get a litre of milk, there's your money. Or if you want a comic, and let them watch that transaction. Because doing that very early lets them understand exactly what money is. It's transactional, that you hand in one piece, another type comes out, even if they can't fully count yet. But definitely get them doing that so they get more comfortable with this idea of money. And then as they get older, you can obviously move towards the digital thing. But starting off, the multi-sensory, it's nearly like crawling before you walk. OK,
so learning about cash, because we were discussing this, because we were discussing how the days of cash are nearly gone. I think it was said yesterday's report, but 95% of people just tap and go all the time. And even a little 7-year-old girl was saying that she didn't want a fiver as pocket money as a gift. She wanted the money sent to her Revolut account. So when should you look to set up a Revolut or a bank account for your child?
That's a really good question, because really it's going to depend on your child, right? Every parent's going to know their child way better. Some will be absolutely great starting off at 6 or 7 with a Revolut account because they have that understanding. But sometimes it might be a bit older. So like really look at where your child is. But once they understand the basic math of addition and they understand all the coins and stuff, there's no reason why you can't move on to digital, because it just helps with that transition forward. And you're right, since COVID particularly, we're gone to cashless society and giving them that independence with it.
Is it hard to teach children the value of money when it's just tap and go, though? You know, it's easy when you're counting out the coins or, 5 or 10 or whatever else, but actually when they're just tapping it, even myself, it's hard to keep track of it.
Yeah, this is a skill I think every adult should even sit down and take a bit of time to learn. But no, it is important, because when it comes to tap and go, we sometimes, and particularly since it went up to €50, you don't have to necessarily keep an eye on it. But I would say as early as you can, just like going digital and learning about money as early as you can, giving them control over their money early. And there's a reason for this. So let's say they get their pocket money and whatever amount it is, they'll go, here's your weekly pocket money, and you put it into their Revolut account or whatever account they have, and they have to manage certain responsibilities. So I'm going to give the example of a slightly older child who may have a phone, and they'll have to pay for their data every month. But instead of you as a parent paying for it, you build that into their pocket money, and you go, every month you need to have this amount of money in your account for that direct debit to go out, and you have to have it, or if not, your data is gone until you fix it again. And that's something that in our modern society, we need to be connected, and for them to text their friends and stuff, they need to have that access. So if they do make a mistake, or the money gets overspent, or they kind of make the little mistake early, their data is gone. They're not going to make that mistake a second time.
For sure they're not. Do you think they should be getting pocket money anyway weekly, or do they need to earn it through chores or jobs around the house?
Personally, I'm a fan of earning it through chores, because I think that gives a sense of responsibility, and you go, OK, well, I make my bed, I do these few things, and in return, I get my paycheck, which is my pocket money. But for that, they'll have responsibilities. So it starts setting in basically the system of money as we're adults. So when they start doing that, they realise, OK, so when I get my first job, then I get my paycheck, and I have to manage it as such. I have to pay for my phone, I have to pay for my clothes, I pay for whatever. So it's less of a jump when they start working in the adult world.
Could you talk budgeting to children or teenagers?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like, the way I kind of look at it is, when kids are in school, right, they're learning all these complicated subjects. They're learning languages and sciences and arts and all this type of stuff. Why not something like money? Because no matter what job you do, you do it, and your paycheck is your job well done. And managing that as early as possible and giving them confidence with money as early as possible, making it a no-brainer. It's like driving a car. right? The first time you go about driving a car, you're there and you're like, oof, there's indicators, lights, there's all these different things going on, and it's quite overwhelming. But then there comes a point, you do your test, you have a bit of mileage under you, quite literally, and then you get in the car and you go from point A to point B, and you don't even remember the journey because you're just that good at it.
But in terms of budgeting and stuff, it's not just about spending. It's about getting the money from your chores, then you just spend it. Is it important, and how important is it at a young age to learn to actually put a bit aside, save something, maybe keep some money to give away to a charity, whatever else? Well, the potential. I mean, these are good early lessons.
Yeah, but like that, if they're saving up in our house, it'd be saving up for runners or a video game or whatever.
But it'd be nice.
Both these are perfect. So the way I would, and no matter what age, and from young, and I'd bring this the whole way up along, when they get their pocket money, I would start saying, look, 3 categories. Spending, because you need to, thanks for job well done, have your treat, whatever it is, the comic, the subscription, and have that immediate. So that's really well done. There's your win. The second category, I'd say, is saving. So whether it's a game or whatever. And I'd say when they're younger, not long-term saving, it's make it for the game, make it for the thing that they have the delayed gratification and they get the thing at the end. But the big one, and actually, Tommy, you mentioned it, is the charity. And I see this as twofold. Because if you have a small section for charity, what you can do then is say, look, well, kids, you can pick whatever charity it is, and it could be an animal one, it could be whatever they're interested in. And then when they have a little bit of money built up, you bring them to that place and show them the good they can do in the world. But the other big benefit of that is to show them that you don't always get to keep all of your paycheck. And that's your nice introduction to tax.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
There you
okay,
go.
well, you maybe don't want to go and see where that's going.
Yeah.
There's a report here talking about being a financial role model, and actually 57% of Irish adults only qualify as being financially literate. So how important is it for parents to teach their kids the right lessons when it comes to money?
Yeah, actually, that study was only 57% reached the minimum level of financial literacy.
Oh, really?
It's one of the lowest in the whole OECD. Yeah, Ireland, we've a little bit to go in that regard.
Should it become a subject in school then? Like, if you think about doing your taxes, budgeting, simple things that become so important, particularly in cost of living crisis, where it's supposed to just have to find out on your own.
A lot of countries have this in place. A lot of countries have it as a school subject already, basic budgeting, understanding debt, all that kind of stuff. So to be fair to parents, like Ireland, we haven't had money for most of our history. We're only kind of finding our feet in that regard. So there's a lot of kind of guilt and I should be better with money and all that kind of thing. Any parent listening, teach what you can, right? You're going to have learned really hard lessons in your life. Teach them maybe what not to do because you've been there, you made the mistake, the loan didn't work out, whatever it is. Teach them everything you can and then give them the confidence to go, just keep learning. Just keep learning about this. If you fail, so what? Dust yourself off, keep going.
Very good. Love it. Great tips. Kel Galavan, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so you find me hanging out a lot on Instagram at Mrs. Smart Money HQ or LinkedIn or at mrssmartmoney.com.
Brilliant. Kel, thanks so much for that. Very interesting, isn't it?
All right, coming up next, we are crafting comic book heroes with illustrator Will Sliney.
Yes, pens and papers at the ready. We'll see you back here very shortly. We're going to be drawing Spider-Man.